Deep in the lush jungle of Southeast Asia is a temple that many may recognize but don't even know the name of. This 500-acre complex is called Angkor Wat. Located around 6 kilometers north of the city of Siem Reap and south of Angkor Thom, Angkor Wat has had political, commercial and cultural significance amongst the Khmer or Cambodian people since its construction. The complex value behind this site is founded on its religiosity. Angkor Wat's name comes from the Khmer words Angkor, meaning capital city, and Wat, which means temple. It is said that this is not the real name of the temple complex and that its true title is lost to history. I guess you could say, we don't know what its true name is. Despite this, it is today still revered as one of the largest religious monuments in the world. From its architecture to its sculpture inscriptions, there are lessons to be learned about the events that took place at Angkor Wat, as well as about the people and beliefs associated with the temple. This once bustling city and center of an empire has faced war, rededication, rediscovery, and now restoration as it has stood the test of time from the 12th century all the way up to the present day. Thanks to the maintenance performed by those who once lived and worshipped there, and the research conducted in the past century, we can finally uncover the mystery behind this astounding temple's most peculiar history. While Angkor Wat features no inscriptions or recordings that mention its original name, there are numerous references that mention the emperor who commissioned the construction of the temple and its surrounding structures. This king was SURYAVARMAN II. Angkor Wat's construction is estimated to have begun in 1116 AD, roughly 3 years after King SURYAVARMAN II took the throne of what was the Khmer Empire at the time. King SURYAVARMAN II was set to reign from 1113 AD until his death in 1150 AD, and Angkor Wat is recorded having concluded construction shortly after the king passed. Evidence of this timeline is made through the inscriptions made in the stone edifice of the temple, with one such image being that of King SURYAVARMAN entering the temple city. Another example of these two timelines coinciding is the contemporary architecture and art design used in the building of the temple. Around this time, it was also common for Khmer kings to construct temples like Angkor Wat in order to stake their claim and showcase their authority as an extension of the gods they believed in. In a religious context, the temple is a home to the god worshipped by the king and his people, invites the presence of a deity within that region, and shows how that god supported the king's leadership. The king, by extension, shows how he can gather and mobilize people and resources to complete the project, and by building even more lavish structures than previous temples, therefore demonstrating how he was more worthy to rule than his rivals or predecessors through divine approval. Compensation much? Since this pattern of building a temple as a home to the god it was dedicated to, Angkor Wat follows the Hindu tradition of its time period, placing it well within the 12th century, with various inscriptions, reliefs and statues made with the image of the god Vishnu, one of the three principal gods of Hinduism. It was surmised that SURYAVARMAN II was a patron of the Hindu faith. Additional evidence to this conclusion are referenced in part by SURYAVARMAN II's name, meaning protector of the sun, which matches with Vishnu's character of the protector in the Hindu pantheon of gods. Given its original dedication as a Hindu temple, Angkor Wat features an impressive 1,200 square meters of carved bas-reliefs across its walls. There are 8 stories told through these images, depicting narratives from the Hindu belief system, including the churning of the ocean milk and the creation of the universe, as told by Hindu tradition. These engravings feature gods, demons, and other creators identifiable in Hindu scripture. The 3,000 heavenly nymphs from Hindu mythology are also displayed in these reliefs, each with unique hairstyles, jewelry, headdresses, and outfits, providing us with a look into the inhabitants of the heavenly home of Vishnu and the other gods. The designation of Angkor Wat as a home to Vishnu can be found in the book Angkor Wat, Time, Space and Kingship. The author, Eleanor Manika, describes how the elements of the temple city's construction reflect the universe, as understood through Hindu thought. Aside from its religious significance, the architectural design of Angkor Wat is equally as fascinating. The entire height of Angkor Wat, from the very top of its highest tower to the ground level, is a whopping 213 meters. The highest tower of Angkor Wat is the Central Tower, which represents the center of the universe, the mountain of MERU. The other towers bring to mind the other peaks of this mythical mountain, where the gods are said to reside. Angkor Wat's outer wall then represents the mountain range at the edge of the world, while the moat around it is representative of the oceans beyond our world. Antonio de Madalena, a Portuguese friar, is typically credited as being the first Westerner to visit Angkor Wat in 1586. It wasn't until the 1840s, though, that French explorer Henry Moe would rediscover the site. From afar, Moe wrote about the temple in his initial exploration of the area, remarking how grand the architecture of Angkor Wat was and describing it as grander than anything left to us by Greece or Rome. However, this series of long, narrow ridges reveals even more up close than what Moe saw. These details include impressive archstone entrances that can fit large elephants, amazing angles and lines that define the overall structure, and sloping roofed galleries. The towers, chambers, porches, courtyards, and libraries each integrate symbolism in their construction to further aid the understanding of SURYAVARMAN and his architect's interpretation of Hindu beliefs. While the central tower is likened to Mount Meru, the lower courtyards can also be interpreted as the continents that make up the Earth's surface. The causeway, stretching 250 meters, is the primary access through the moat, which is 200 meters itself, with a 4.5-meter high wall. As one approaches the temple, iconography of NAGA, the seven-headed mythical serpent of Hindu lore, presents the path as a symbolic bridge from the human realm to the realm of the gods. This places visitors on a sacred journey, allowing them to venture back in time to the creation of the universe and to travel steep steps into the upper levels where the BAKAN sanctuary was built, representing the abode of the gods. In addition to their symbolic representation in the Hindu retelling of the universe, these structures were made to protect the people inside from invasion. Within the walls of Angkor Wat are 200 acres, which made up the city, temple complex, and emperor's palace at the time of its use. Angkor Wat was still a political center where people might have built their homes out of wood or other materials that have unfortunately not stood the test of time. What remains now are the sandstone walls and temple, which are said to have been quarried from PHNOM KULEN, a mountain considered sacred by the Cambodian people. Considering this effort, an estimate of 300,000 people and 6,000 elephants, as well as numerous rafts and tools, might have been used to construct the edifice. It is reasoned that following the death of SURYAVARMAN II, a rival tribe ransacked the temple city, leading to a new emperor taking over the region and moving their capital and temple to separate locations north of Angkor Wat. This might have led to Angkor Wat becoming less populated by the 13th century, and very well may be the reason as to why no commercial or residential structures back then are here today. By the end of the 12th century, it was inhabited by Buddhist worshippers who maintained and lived there well into the 1800s. Time has seen the addition of new reliefs in Angkor Wat that depict events from the Buddhist tradition. Robert Casey, in his research expeditions to Angkor Wat in the 1920s, wrote about how the pedestals and terraces still bear the sign of use for processions and ritual dances from its days under SURYAVARMAN II. Priests are still even seen occupying the halls and chanting Buddhist rituals today. Through years of civil war, colonial administration, ancient battles, earthquakes, overgrowth, and other natural processes of wear and tear, Angkor Wat still stands as a monument to the Cambodian people and their history, even being depicted on the Cambodian flag. Now recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Angkor Wat currently brings in thousands of visitors each year, thanks to continuous efforts being made to invest in the area to maintain it. One thing is for sure, Angkor Wat was once a multifaceted temple city that we continue to learn more about with the increasing efforts to restore and research the structures it has left behind. While a large part of its history is lost, there is still a lot to admire and value in the culture of the Khmer people. We make it a goal here on our channel to shine light on various sites like Angkor Wat in order to give them the spotlight they deserve. If you enjoyed this video, like it and subscribe to the channel so we can all spread awareness on more ancient sites across the world. Also, please share this to a fellow history lover that you know if you can. Once we hit 5,000 subscribers, we'll be doing a giveaway where one of you will receive an authentic ancient Roman coin. So sharing this will help us reach that goal. See you in the next video.